Well, I thought I might as well do a video update on this Zoe. A few people asked me, how is it going? Because I've gone deadly quiet on the Rural Leaf channel. Well, I thought I'd do an update. I really haven't really got time to do videos and to edit them and stuff like that at the moment. And it goes like that sometimes. So I thought I'd do a real on the fly, just a single video today on how it's going. So I've almost done 7,000 miles. Where's he off to? Somewhere. I've done almost 7,000 miles in this car. How has it performed? It's performed ridiculously well. I have had basically no issues with it at all, which is pretty remarkable. What? What do you think of the car, Bruce? Hey? He's either waving or he's got something stuck to his face. Right, so what's to say about it really? There's been no issues. As you can see now I'm on 6927. Boot it up. No, it's not showing you battery percentage, but I set off today with 85 miles on the GOM. It's all been downhill obviously, so it's gone up to 88. But this is the mileage I was setting off in my 24 kilowatt hour Leaf. That's the sort of mileage I have on the screen, 84, 85. And I've been using this now for 3-4 days without even charging it. This is kind of why I've backed off. I mean, 17 degrees, look, and it's 8:48 in the morning. It's kind of why I've backed off doing videos to a degree. The devotion needed to electric car videos is getting less. I mean, if I had a problem with this car, so something went wrong with it, a video would have gone up. But it just simply hasn't. It's just completely, like I found with the Leaf, I mean, even the 24 kilowatt hour ended up just becoming completely normal. With this, even more so. With nothing going wrong with it, nothing to report, it just works as an ordinary car. This has become, really, this is mainstream. I mean, 175, you can get, I mean, you could push it to 200 miles. I've never even bothered. 175 is enough for me. So it's just like a normal car. There's not any special information I need to give out to you. It's got a single charge port. It hasn't got the complications of multiple charge ports. It's got a single port. You plug it in, it'll take whatever power that gives out, up to 43 kilowatts. And that side of it is absolutely brilliant. That's a massive advantage, having a single port that does basically everything. And the only thing to report is, well, I'll try it now, I bet you it won't work now, is the charge flap. It's the only slight annoyance. So we better actually turn the car off. Right, let's turn that off. And so this, you should be able to see it from over here. It doesn't always open. No, see, it's not open, let's see. And now it does. So if I was being picky, you press it once, you press it twice, and sometimes you press it 3 times and then it pops open. But otherwise, apart from that, those have held up, good news. Wheels, the tyres on them mean I haven't actually curbed them at all. It's only a couple of times I've ever hit a curb, but the actual tyre just covers the rim of these. So it's actually lasted okay. And everything else is working brilliantly. The reversing camera, if you slap, there's double argument here, because if you, with this car, I've mentioned before in one of the earlier blogs, you turn it on, you can go literally. You just turn it on, as quick as you can slam it into drive, you can go. Whereas like my experience with the Leaf, you just put it in, it's not a problem I'm complaining about or anything like that. You put it in, it takes a while to be able to allow to put it into drive to get going. This is almost like it's booting up. But because you can do it so quickly on this, the infotainment system, which is fairly slow in computing power anyway, when you slam it into reverse straight away, it can take as long as it does for the Leaf to boot up to actually show you the reverse image. If that makes sense. Not that I'm very rare, it's only usually coming out my drive, parked in frontwards, I just slam it to reverse, but I don't really use the reversing camera to come out my drive anyway. But if you quickly do it as quick as that, yeah, it can take a while to actually see the camera view. So it could be snappier, basically. But I am picking it bones here to try and work out how I could say this isn't. I mean, people say, it's funny, it is hilarious. I've seen so many comments saying this is a city car. Yeah, it's just a small runabout. It's just a city car. That's all it is, really. Yeah, yeah. And you can do that if you like. You can do that. It's the same conversations I have with people who don't like electric cars. It's very similar to that, where they say, "Oh no, yeah, but it's been no good for me." No, no, no. I say, okay, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. If you don't want to save thousands of pounds, that's fine. That's fine. Just carry on. You have your petrol car, diesel car. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to try and force you to save huge amounts of money. If you overlook this car because you think it's a city car, that's fine. But I'm not using it as a city car. I am not using it as a city car. I'm at 7,000 miles. And yeah, I mean, when did I get it? Was it March, I think, this year? And it's now, it's August we're in now. So from that point of view, yeah, there's lots of comments on forums and stuff like that. People commenting who probably have never even owned one. And you get that with everything, and everybody knows that, but sometimes people, the information sticks. In terms of size reduction, I'm going to actually find where the dog's gone. There he is. I did a whistle and he came straight away. He's a good lad. Good boy. Here, say hello. Hello, boy. Should we get you in the boot? Yeah. Come here. So you can fit a dog in there, for instance. Talking about space. Good boy. Now, let's get that grass seed off your head. What do you look like? He's a good one. That is a 35 kilogram electric unicycle in the back. We're using on a 1,000 miler charity ride. Not usually in there, by the way, just taking it to work today. You can fit a husky in there, in the boot, with no issues at all. So the boot isn't tiny. The rear seats, I mean, I've got them crammed full of stuff, wheels and coats and camera bags and stuff like that. Absolutely fine. So 3 seat belts in the back. What's happened is I've gone from a Leaf of 4 years to a Zoe, which I'll keep probably for 5 or 6 years. And I've not found it lacking in everything I did before. I have actually carried a lot of boxes in here as well, but I've only done it once. I don't want to wreck the car by transporting those boxes about, and it's not something I need to do particularly. But I have fitted boxes in here, and there's a video on my channel where they wouldn't fit in the i3 anywhere near as easily as fitting in here, which has massively surprised me, I must admit. There's something to do with the way the roof slopes, but anyway, that is another story that's already been filmed. But I have not found it lacking in any way at all. It's perfectly pokey enough. I mean, if you slam your foot down, the wheels spin. I mean, you have to be careful. And how much more torque do you want than that? In fact, you could argue it's a bit too much. You put it sort of in eco to stop it doing that, which is way too soft, so you don't do that. But in my opinion, that if you can slam your foot down, the wheels start to spin, then that is more than enough torque. So yeah. But take a walk around it. So I've got there's no damaging to the door line like there was in my Leaf here. That's all holding up well. It's not coming on the back. It's not even in rubber strips to try and protect it either. So they obviously have checked that out, which is quite amazing, really. Yeah, I mean, you'd think with the tyre being sticking out that much, you'd get stone chips all there. But I haven't yet. So, and it's say 7,000 miles. You'd think you'd see something if there was going to be something. But yeah, no, it's holding up. It's holding up absolutely fine. And I suppose this is the thing I was saying, touched on this. It's just a completely normal car. There's nothing, isn't it? You know, there was nothing challenging. If I went down to Cornwall in this, there's no point in hardly even recording it. Like I did the Cornwall trip in the Leaf, 24 kWh. That is a challenge. I mean, on the motorway, does 60 miles or whatever maximum kind of thing. If you're doing 55 miles an hour, with this you can get in it. You do 70 miles an hour, and you do 160, 170 miles. And so there's no real challenge in it. And wow, I'd have to charge once, kind of on the way down, depending on exactly where I was going. But it's hardly worth recording, is it, and documenting, unless you're testing the charging infrastructure, which the charging infrastructure becomes less of a problem with this. Because if I miss one charger, it doesn't really matter. Because I just travel to the next one. Whereas prior to this, the last 4 years kind of thing, I was always going, oh my goodness, I've only got 10, 15 miles range. Can I get to another charger? This isn't an issue with this. In fact, I find myself more going to Rapids to see if they're free. It's the absurdity of popping in to see if they're on free vend, not that you actually need to charge kind of thing. And if it is on free vend, I charge. I mean, I might be on 50% or something, so it's worth doing. It's not like I'm on 80%. So, yeah. Do you know what? I think these electric car video blogs are going to be fairly short-lived. from here on out, unless you're doing a full-on reviews of the car itself compared to other cars. In terms of the complexities of owning an electric car, that's dropped off massively with something like this, and it's only going to get better from this. It's going to go from this, and the Kona's come out, the Hyundai Kona, 300+ mile car. Oh, it's going to be 300 plus, and then you're going to be 400 plus, 500 plus, 600 plus, 700 plus, and you're going to be like, wow, oh my goodness. And so range completely goes out of the equation. Charging infrastructure almost does. If you set off with a 700 mile range, for instance, which is fantasy at the moment, but if you did, your charging infrastructure is at a null point. So, yeah. From in terms of where I've come from, and going through the struggles of electric car ownership and how to overcome them and how to approach things, and information to drivers, a car like this, which is basically, as far as I can see, is mainstream with 175 mile range. Yeah, the next generations of these are going to be just better. They're not going to get worse, are they? They're going to get better and better and better and better. So, and I'm not someone who's going to be reviewing cars. You know, I'm not going to go and find them and review them against each other. That's not what I do. I review the ownership of them. And this one I'm going to be on for 4 or 5 years. So the content's probably going to be thin, is what I'm saying, I suppose, on the ground. It already has been. And I'll just document if things go wrong, or if I do any spectacular trips, which I don't really have any planned. There's nothing really to report. It's not lack of effort, particularly. I haven't really got time. But then, thankfully, there's not a lot of need to do anything, because you just get in it, you drive it, and then you stick it on charge 3 or 4 days later. The boot opening, as you can see, is massive. This opening here is huge. I mean, the design of it, I actually love the design of this car. I think it looks good, but that's for personal preference. But you can see how much effort they've put in to make that boot line a massive opening. It drops right up to the top there. You couldn't get any higher, can you? And so for things like you see, Bruce is, Husky is not a small dog. They're classified as a large dog, and you can see he's even got headroom. And you can put stuff straight through the middle if you need to. But there we go. I thought I'd just update you guys. It's only a 6.5 minute video. Oh, the rattle, the rattle on the boot is probably the only other complaint, which I've done nothing with. I just can't be bothered to go to and get it fixed. But what I've done is I put a wet wipe over it, like that, and you shut that down on it, and you don't get the rattle. Because the rattle isn't really a rattle. What it is, can I find it for you? Don't know if you can see that properly. There you can now. That there is a bit of plastic or rubber. It's rubber, in fact. And that, squished tight against the metal, makes a bit of a noise. But that wet wipe's been in now for about, since I reported that noise the first time, which is probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. Easy fix. Right. I shall catch you guys later. I hope that's sort of giving you some information of why we film videos on the Royal Leaf channel, and actually what a great car that is. It should definitely not be overlooked as just some sort of little city runabout. They can sort of just about cope, poor little car, it can just about cope with things the big boys can cope with. Nah. Nope, not at all. I'll catch you guys later.